shortly.
Okay.
All right. Welcome, YouTube. Welcome to the Saturday morning show. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip forward ahead about 8 minutes, and that's when the radio program will start up there on that side. 8 minutes if you want to do that. Mic check, voice check, and audio check for the stations. Making sure levels are okay on that. So, all right, Bruce. Just a reminder, you're on YouTube, so what you say is going to be posted there. But yeah, I've been struggling snaring, man. I really have.
Oh yeah.
Really.
Well, I've talked to the guys out west, and it's sounds that way out that way, but I know over here, man, it's just been excellent trapping. I think the guys that do the snaring have been really doing well and
Good.
all that. So.
Good deal. So do you work on mostly dirt hole sets when you trap? How do you do yours?
Yeah, I'm a dirt hole fan, but then I do T-bones and pipes and bait sticks and it's just a whole host of stuff, but 90% dirt hole.
Good deal. Yeah. Well, Happy New Year to you. How's
You too. Mm-hmm.
How are we looking here for fur prices this year? What are you thinking?
Well, they may be better than I think. I've been telling people
so,
$40, $50, but I've heard some been selling on the carcass traveling buyers for considerably more than that, but I guess you never really know. We'll just have to find out.
Absolutely. Big Daddy Dave and KGFX. Good morning, sir. Hiding in the closet. I'm doing my remote studio today, Bruce. Here, I'm down in Leeds, South Dakota. I came down to the hills for the New Year celebration.
Okay.
So if you're watching on YouTube, yeah, I'm in the closet. It's the quietest place I can find here. My mobile studio. Everybody else has fancy places to go. Not I. Saw a mountain lion last night coming home out of Deadwood. Walking down Main Street.
Are you still on?
Yeah, you're still here with me.
Yeah. Okay. It got quiet. I wasn't sure.
Sometimes I have to think in my own head because I need expert advice. Sometimes I got to talk to myself.
We're not on yet, are we?
No, we're going to be starting here in about 4 minutes.
Okay.
4 or 5 minutes, somewhere in there.
Okay.
So if you got to grab something, you sure can. A lot of coyote tournaments coming up, Bruce. Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Seems to be increasing in popularity for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a pretty good number of coyotes around the way it seems wherever I've been. Geez, there's quite a few. Mm-hmm.
It seems like I got a call from a guy over by the kind of Eureka, South Dakota, down by Zealand. If you know that. They said they're just overrun with coyotes down that neck of the woods. They said nobody hunts or traps or snares or does anything with them in that country. He said he's one of the few people. That surprises me.
Yeah, really, because it's just getting more and more all the time. Everywhere you go.
Sure,
even like trapping. With the amount of pressure that they're getting on them, they're just leery of everything. They're just getting harder and harder to trap, even.
More and more people are educating them, I guess, huh?
The way it seems. I'm not a real big fan of this night hunting, but boy, I think that you talk to the real callers, and they says them night hunter guys really educate a lot of them.
Yeah, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit less wily, definitely, in the nighttime. I guess I just dabbled into my first thermal scope here, and the reason I got it is for calving season. Granted, I can't use it at calving season, but at least I can kind of scan the countryside and see where the heck they're coming in at here in my calving pasture.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, gets to be that, and it's kind of neat when you look through these things. You can really see a baby calf when it's holed up down in a canyon somewhere underneath a cedar tree, and you can't find it. It's pretty cool to watch that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
My wife wants to find any good ice fishing spots down around Pier. I tell you what, I'll make a few calls there and see what I can find out for you. No, there's some good spots down that way. Got to find good ice. I was supposed to be in an ice fishing tournament today, Bruce, down in by Sturgis here, and the ice is definitely not thick enough for that.
Oh, I would think not. It hardly is on a good year, and then this year here down in that country, it must really be that good.
Yeah, it's pretty light. There's people out
Yeah.
though. I mean, there's some diehards that want to get out and do that stuff, but
Yeah.
not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did the Mobridge tournament one year, and you drive out on top of that water and you hear them starting to crack, and it's just not for me, man. I'll walk out there, but I'm not taking a vehicle out anymore.
No.
That's
No.
no way, no how.
When I was trapping, and then it was, still open water and ice here and there, and there was already guys sneaking on out and drilling a hole so they could go fishing. I thought, man, I kind of like it when it's a little thicker.
I hear you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about moisture this spring if we don't get some snow, but I think January, February, for some reason, I have a sneaking suspicion with all the fog that we had in our area, my area. I think we're going to get some pretty hefty storms in January and February.
Well, I know one of the old farmers over west where I like to trap, and he says, yeah, boy, he says, they were so really, really, we were terrible wet last year, and they were really wet over there.
Yeah.
There's still roads underwater. And he says, we don't need any damn snow. He says, it just fills up the sloughs. Everything's full now, and he says, we get some rain in April and May. He says, it'll be way so much better.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
And
hold up here, Bruce. We're about a few seconds here. Stations, 15 seconds. 15 seconds on mark. 15 seconds. Five-second stations on mark. 5 seconds. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. And Happy New Year to you. Hopefully you had a good Christmas as well. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, and if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio, well, you can see I'm in my remote studio. You can call it a closet because it is a closet here, but I spent the New Year's. I had intentions of coming down to the Sturgis Deadwood Lead Spearfish area here and do an ice fishing tournament with my buddy Kevin Vaughn here from Wild Walleye Outfitters, but that tournament is postponed to next weekend because there's not much ice. So just make sure you check your ice conditions before you do that here. Today's show brought to you by Action Motorsports on the Strip in Mandan, North Dakota, featuring the best all-around ATVs, UTVs, snowmobiles. Hey, the Dakota Territory is going to get some snow, and when we do, and some places already have. However, we still got a lot of winter ahead of us here, January, February, and I think it's time for yourself to treat yourself to a little upgrade. Go in and check out a brand new sled, okay, or snow machine if you're north of the border. That's what they like to call them there. Action Motorsports, best all-around, most qualified service department as well. Check them out on the Strip, Mandan, North Dakota. I'll tell you what, a lot of coyote tournaments coming up. There's a couple of them going on, a few things going on actually this weekend. The Miles City, Montana Coyote Calling Contest is going on here today. The Drake Fire Department is having their coyote and pheasant hunt here. That's doing it today. 2-person teams, $100 a team on that one. So make sure you good luck to those folks. Also going on today, the one-day three-tail pheasant tournament. This is on the Little's Bar and Grill up in that Peak City area going on. So 2 or 3-person teams on that. So there you go. There's a few tournaments going on this weekend. There's plenty going on the rest of January. We'll get to them as the show continues on right here. Well, I'd like to first up here on the show, I'd like to welcome Mr. Bruce Williard. He is with the Fur Takers Association. Good morning, Bruce. Welcome to the program. How you doing?
Good morning. Really well.
Good deal. So how is the weather on the eastern side of the state right now? Did you guys get snow?
We had a couple, well, maybe 4 inches the other day, and it's melted down to a couple. But before that, it was just awesome. There was no snow. It was just awesome. Great.
So when you say awesome, you're saying awesome because you like to do trapping, not so much snaring. I like snow for snaring. It seems like it helps me a little bit better to see where they're traveling here. But you're claiming here the nice open winter. That's what you really like to see for the trapping side of things, huh?
Well, because then it's just so much easier to get around. You don't have to fight the weather. There's no snow drifting. You set a trap, and it's just good to go. Yeah. Like I say, it must have been about like trapping in New Mexico. It was just, it was awesome.
So how are the furs looking this year with such a warmer kind of winter that we're having this time? Is the guard here still looking pretty good on these coyotes?
Yeah, I think the coyotes, the fur was really nice, but even though, we didn't have snow and stuff, by the getting toward the end of December, you could see they were starting to break down a little bit, even though we didn't have snow that they were laying on and pulling out and stuff. But, maybe it was so easy to go everywhere, so some of them were just getting rubbed because they're just walking through the brush all the time because there was no hindrance to going through the brush,
Yeah. Well, we still have usually coyotes, from right now until the end of January, like you said, they're going to start breaking down. How far into January can a guy go and still be okay and still get a decent fur hide off of these things?
Well, I know some of the guys out west, they go right to the end of snare season into March, and there's some that stay good really late, and then others even in November. I got some that were really nothing special, already. Yeah. But you getting around this time of the year, you're gonna start to see more and more of it from here on out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the weather holds out, and we, like you said, before we got on air here, you're like, well, maybe we can just skip over the snow this winter, and we'll just get all kinds of nice, timely rains in April and May. And I guess you're going to be the person that everybody's going to go to because you said that's what's going to happen, right?
Sure.
If it doesn't happen, his name is Bruce Williard. You can find.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you what, we're having the state fur auction coming up in Bismarck. Tell us a little bit about this before we have a break coming up, but let's talk a little bit about it before we get up to that break.
Well, we have a fur sale scheduled in Bismarck, January 15th and the 16th, Friday and a Saturday. And the Friday is a check-in day from 1 till 9. We're receiving fur at the Burley County 4-H Center and the Joan Hetzel 4-H up at Bucksock Junction. And on Saturday, we receive furs from 7 till 11. And after that, we're not taking any more, so the buyers have a chance to go through them and look. And at 1 o'clock, the auction begins, and it usually goes pretty fast. In a couple hours or so, it's pretty much over.
That's because you got the auctioneer that knows how to keep time.
That's about it. Yeah.
So last year, when I was selling the first couple lots there, and we broke the $200 mark on some of these lots. And these are put up furs. These are furs that are all done, and you've seen the shock on a few of these guys, a few of the eyes in that room over on the left-hand side, they were like, holy cow, we just broke $200 here on some coyote furs. What are we looking at this year? I know the prices everybody's been saying are about 20% down. Is that going to hold true?
Yeah, I would say so. I know, back up for a minute, when that $200, 205 for that lot of 60, that was really like unbelievable. It was historic nation high sale we had last year. We had 1,300 finished coyotes, and they sold for an average of $130. This year here, with all commodities have dropped with the coronavirus thing, and then
Yeah.
I've been telling people $40, $50 just because, but I've been hearing some traveling buyers have been buying them on the carcass for considerably more than that.
Yeah.
So I guess I really don't know, whether we're going to see some lots 60 to 80 or maybe a little more possibly. But I think if you're just thinking in the $50, $60 range, I don't think you'll be disappointed, because you probably will get a little more than that. But you hate to say, "Oh, I want $80," and you're only going to get 60. That then you're setting yourself up for a disappointment.
Absolutely. Well, Bruce, we're up against our first break here. If you hold on here, as we lead up here, I'm going to talk about a few coyote tournaments as we get going here. Coming up next weekend, the Fairborn Volunteer Fire Department Coyote Calling Contest. That's going to be next weekend on the 8th and 9th. The Stratford American Legion Post 207 5th Annual Coyote Tournament is January 8th through the 10th. Coming up next weekend, the Garrett Houghton Benefit Coyote Hunt and Chili Cook-Off. Yeah, take a look for that. We'll be talking to Riley Schriefer in the second half of the radio program about that. The 19th Annual North Dakota Coyote Classic is also next weekend. A lot of coyote tournaments. They have a couple of different things, and I'm going to come back and I'll explain. They have a night tournament coming up on that as well. More coming up. Dakota Prairie Outdoors right after these messages.
Join Piper's Auctioneers for the annual Upper Midwest Equipment Auction. This online auction begins to close on December 8th at Pifers.com and features livestock and hay equipment, semi-trucks and trailers, exceptional construction equipment with low-hour payloaders, skid steers, excavators, and more. And this premier Piper's Auction showcases an uncomparable offering of like-new Case, Kubota, and Versatile tractors from 150 to 550 horsepower, some with less than 100 hours. Full inventory details and online bidding is available at Pifers.com.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust advisors. Use your wealth to support your family and those you care about. We know you have worked hard over the years to accumulate wealth. We want to make sure your legacy reaches your heirs as you intend, either by will, by trust, or by beneficiary designation. We emphasize flexibility to meet your goals and discipline to achieve them. Visit DakotaCommunityBank.com.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Moat Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom from cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Join Piper's Auctioneers for the annual Upper Midwest Equipment Auction. This online auction begins to close on December 8th at Pifers.com and features livestock and hay equipment, semi-trucks and trailers, exceptional construction equipment with low-hour payloaders, skid steers, excavators, and more. And this premier Piper's Auction showcases an uncomparable offering of like-new Case, Kubota, and Versatile tractors from 150 to 550 horsepower, some with less than 100 hours. Full inventory details and online bidding is available at Pifers.com.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust provides ag loans for all stages of growth, from seed to harvest. Our expert agribusiness lending staff specializes in loans for livestock, equipment, vehicles, and operating. With our roots in agribusiness lending, you can be assured that our lending staff will provide you with prompt and reliable service. In other words, our ag loan officers will always keep your best interests in mind. Stop by your local Dakota Community Bank and Trust today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition, all across the Dakota Territory. Casey, JB, and Minot, KLTC in Dickinson, K-Fire 550, Bismarck, Mandan, KOLY in Mobridge, South Dakota, and my friends down in Pierre at KGFX. Good to have you folks along, and thank you for tuning in and giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit outdoors here each and every Saturday morning. And I tell you what, it's going to be a great 2021. We have the fur sale coming up in Bismarck here. Bruce Williard from the Fur Takers Association is my guest here this morning for a few more minutes. And, you know, we can talk about a lot of things, prices and all that, Bruce, but how many furs do you think we might be seeing this year? Do you have any ideas? Have you had people contact you already?
Yeah, you know, I would imagine that we're going to have 800 to 1,000 plus finished coyotes. You know, last year we had 1,315 finished coyotes, which was a high for us, but I think we're still going to see well over 1,000 this year. But you know, you have a pretty much a known number, and then all of a sudden there's a lot show up. So I think we're going to be easily in the 800 to 1,000 area. You know.
So one thing that a lot of folks don't know about this, if you want to show up the day of, and you can. All you have to do is be a member, and it doesn't take much because you can sign them up to be a member right when they walk in the door. And the reason you do this is because it's nice. You know, we have to watch out in the industry, especially when it comes to fur takers, is because there's a lot of folks against us, Bruce. There's a lot of people that want to walk in that building and yell things at us, and we try to keep that away by, you know, all you have to do is be a member, and pretty simple to do, isn't it?
It sure is. We're there, and we're not too hard on you. We charge you $20 a year for a North Dakota membership.
Yep.
And like I say, you know, our sale is not open to the public. Right. You know, you're either a member or you're not there. Yeah. And you know, we don't. You know, of course, and we've never really wanted a big spectators sport. Let's say, you know, and then it's mostly the people that are connected with it and either having some fur there or know somebody there. Just the people that are involved. And obviously, you know, the major part of the floor is set up for the buyers for the grading, you know, that we don't want people it isn't like walking through and seeing how big that hog is at the fair, you know. There's no public. We want just workers and buyers so they have time to sort and grade, because everything is sold in trapper lots. We do not do any grading. We put them on the table with a lot number, and the buyers look at them and they go through them themselves and get a figure they can pay.
Yeah.
And when we do the auction, obviously, you know, we just set them on up and we're just selling lot numbers. And we're not walking up and down the aisle like a farm sale holding up skins. You know,
it's set up. You do a phenomenal job setting this thing up. It's really nice to see that. But if people are interested and want to be a member, they sure can stop in and talk with you and, you know, ask a few questions.
Yep.
So you and I were talking about trapping and snaring. You said you don't do a whole lot of snaring, and I've had a tough year snaring coyotes. I really have. I blame it mostly because we have lack of snow. But you said on the trapping side, you're doing pretty well. Could you give some folks, there's a lot of new people, whether they're shooting them, new people in coyote tournaments, but there's a lot of new trappers and people out there kind of doing it the old way, and a lot of young kids. Is there any tips or advice that you could give some of these kids?
Well, just be persistent. You know, that's just, you know, no matter what aspect of it you do, you know, it's a lot of work. You know, if you're not a self-driven person, it's very hard to accomplish much in the trapping world or any of this stuff, you know. And like I say, I use 90% dirt holes with assorted other things, you know, T-bones and whatnot, you know, and then you would think that when it's 40, 50, 60 degrees out, you know, what reason would a coyote, you know, they're not checking these sets out because they're hungry.
Right.
It's more out of curiosity, you know, and curiosity lures seem like they're a big draw this time of the year. But, you know, it's funny, you know, you'll catch a coyote. Obviously, he just ate somewhere because he's just big as can be, but you still catch him. So why are they there? You know, it isn't because they're hungry. It's just like, oh man, boy, look at here. You know, but we didn't have to fight the weather this year. You could drive wherever you wanted to. It was just so nice, you know. And then whereas even a little snow, you know, for trapping, you know, if it's windy, drifting, and you know things get crusted over, it's just so much more work. It's just enjoyable to be out this fall. I know the one time it was December 4th, I was doing a remake, and I thought, wow, this is just awesome. It had to be like 40 degrees out. The ground's not frozen. You can just put a trap in wherever you like, you know. But it was really, really dry, you know. So even if it does get cold, I don't think that the ground's hardly going to freeze because there's nothing there to freeze,
right.
You know.
I was just going to ask you if you had any issues with your traps freezing up, but evidently not.
Right away, that first week, when I like to start around the 20th of October, we had two couple-inch snows, and then they crusted over. Well, we had more winter then than you did. Then that left, and you went back to dry dirt trapping, and it's just so nice. You know, it's just so nice, you know.
When you trap, do you ever? I know you said you do a lot of dirt hole sets, but have you worked with like draw stations very much?
You know, if there's a dead cow or something in the area, you know, of course, then the rules say not within 25 feet, but
right.
The closer they get to it, the more leery they become. You know, if you're back there 100 yards or so because they're on their way to it, you know, it's just a perfect setup, you know, and yeah.
Now, before we got on air, we were discussing how many coyote tournaments there are out here. I mean, there's a lot of people getting into this, calling coyotes, which is kind of nice to see that resurgence of predator hunters. But you said that some of the night hunting that's been going on. You said they're educating these coyotes a little bit more than you'd like to see, and and that's holding true, I think, all across North and South Dakota, I guess, isn't it?
Well, the way I'm not a caller. I'm just a trapper.
Yeah.
And you talk to the real caller guys that have consistently done really well, and he says, since the advent of allowing this night vision scopes and night hunting, they said you could just tell it, and they just don't respond near as readily as they did before. They're just so leery about everything, and one of the really good trappers in the association, and he said, well, when he retired from the government 4 or 5 years ago, he said, these coyotes are way harder to catch now than they were even 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
because they're just, if somebody's trying to kill you every day, you get pretty suspicious.
Well, very, very quick, Bruce. Here we're up against the clock. Time and date for the big fur auction. Let's tell it out one more time.
That's January 15th and 16th in Bismarck at the 4-H Center. And you can contact me for any further information. My number is 701-652-2109.
All right, Bruce, appreciate you coming on the show. Happy New Year to you, and we'll talk to you here in a couple of weeks.
You too. You take care, and we'll see you then.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bruce Williard from the North Dakota Fur Takers Association. Fur sale coming up in a couple of weeks. And if you're interested in bringing some of those furs, make sure you give Bruce a call, and you can find more information. Just Google their name right in the search bar, and it'll come up to you. Hey, more coming up on the second half of the program, and we're going to discuss more of the coyote tournaments. I have a big pile of them in front of me here. We're going to be discussing that, and also catch up with Riley Schriefer. Not only getting ready for his big Red Angus bull sale, but just smashing the coyotes yesterday. I'm telling you, the guys out there just putting the hurt to these coyotes left and right. And he also has a tournament coming up here, a nice kind of a fundraiser for some local people. We're going to be discussing that. That's all coming up here next, right here on Dakota Prairie Outdoors on the Saturday edition. And you're listening all across from Minot, Dickinson, Bismarck, Mobridge, and Pierce, 6 states and 2 Canadian provinces. I appreciate you listening in. More Dakota Prairie Outdoors right after these messages coming your way.
Join Piper's Auctioneers for the annual Upper Midwest Equipment Auction. This online auction begins to close on December 8th at Pifers.com and features livestock and hay equipment, semi-trucks and trailers, exceptional construction equipment with low-hour payloaders, skid steers, excavators, and more. And this premier Piper's Auction showcases an uncomparable offering of like-new Case, Kubota, and Versatile tractors from 150 to 550 horsepower, some with less than 100 hours. Full inventory details and online bidding is available at Pifers.com.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust advisors. Use your wealth to support your family and those you care about. We know you have worked hard over the years to accumulate wealth. We want to make sure your legacy reaches your heirs as you intend, either by will, by trust, or by beneficiary designation. We emphasize flexibility to meet your goals and discipline to achieve them. Visit DakotaCommunityBank.com.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Moat Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Join Piper's Auctioneers for the annual Upper Midwest Equipment Auction. This online auction begins to close on December 8th at Pifers.com and features livestock and hay equipment, semi-trucks and trailers, exceptional construction equipment with low-hourred payloaders, skid steers, excavators, and more. And this premier Piper's Auction showcases an uncomparable offering of like-new Case, Kubota, and Versatile tractors from 150 to 550 horsepower, some with less than 100 hours. Full inventory details and online bidding is available at Pifers.com.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust provides ag loans for all stages of growth, from seed to harvest. Our expert agribusiness lending staff specializes in loans for livestock, equipment, vehicles, and operating. With our roots in agribusiness lending, you can be assured that our lending staff will provide you with prompt and reliable service. In other words, our ag loan officers will always keep your best interests in mind. Stop by your local Dakota Community Bank and Trust today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. When that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Golly, it's nice to see you in 2021 here. If you're catching this on the radio stations, make sure you call them up and say thanks. Thanks for carrying my program. I appreciate that very much. Second half of the radio program, I'd like to welcome Mr. Riley Schriefer. How you doing, sir?
I am doing great, Scott. How are you today?
I'll tell you this. I'm doing better than a 6'7" guy that we know, because evidently, he took his kids to get some ski lessons on Terry Peak yesterday. And now he can't walk. He can't even show up for the radio program. That's how sore he is.
Oh, man. I was kind of looking forward to it. When I heard that he was going to be guest hosting with you and sitting there in the studio with you, I was like, oh, man, we're going to have a good conversation on Saturday.
I would think so. Now we're going to have a better conversation.
Well, yeah. Now it's going to be great. It's going from good to great. 21 starting off the year just right.
Well, you started it out with a double. Calling in a double with your dad. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I told Dad, hey, you're doing that contest that I'm putting on with Kyle next weekend. My brother-in-law's coming back. Let's go up and sharpen your skills and whatnot. And took him out calling, kind of refresh him a little bit. And first stand of the year 2021, we pulled in a double in 15 minutes. So it was nice.
It's easy.
Good way to start the year.
Isn't it easy calling coyotes? It's just, you just set the call out there, boom, done. That's how it is.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's always that easy. It's, some days you'll go and you'll not get a thing, and other days it's just like you can't stop them from responding to you.
Well, I was discussing with Bruce Williard here from the Fur Takers. We have the fur sale coming up in a couple weeks in Bismarck. I was talking to him about how many coyote tournaments are coming up. And we had 3 of them today. We have a couple pheasant tournaments going on. I believe tomorrow is the closing of archery season and pheasant season in the North Dakota side. So there's a lot of these people trying to get this last minute stuff. But we got Fairborn, we got Stratford having a tournament next weekend. But you are hosting the Garrett Houghton Benefit Coyote Hunt and Chili Cook-Off. Tell us about Garrett here. Give us the backstory on why this tournament means so much here.
Well, okay, so Kyle Fairby and I, we both lived with Garrett in college. Kyle went to high school with him, and I just got to know him through Kyle, during high school a little bit, and then also in college, and he just became a really good friend of ours. And yeah, he had some cancer issues over the past couple of years, and he went into remission, and then it came back. And so, without going into, I mean, that's the gist of it, and him and his family had to relocate to Minnesota now. And so we decided that we're going to do this another year. We did it last year, and we had nothing but good news after that. Well, and then all this came back, so we decided that we need to do it again for them, so
good deal.
Anything we can do for them, I mean, the amount of generosity that's come in from donations for prizes and everything has just, blown my mind.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. What do you got for prizes? Because there's a lot of tournaments going on the same day your tournament is.
Oh yeah.
So, why draw them to your tournament? Let's see what we got here. Is there I heard before you get started, I did hear that Hazen, Western Frontier Insurance in Hazen is donating a brand new 4-wheeler is what I heard.
Yeah. Well, they did donate something, but it's brand new, but it's not definitely not a 4-wheeler.
Oh well, maybe he's keeping it a surprise for you, and I know he's going to buy it from Action Motorsports. So,
that'd be sweet.
Yeah. So Britt, if you're listening, Jesse will be, give him a call and tell him you got a deal for him, so you can get this done before the next Saturday. But
and I heard that Britt was willing to go halvesies with him on it. So
he was going to go halves. Good.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Jeez, wouldn't that be something?
That's awesome. So we got a big prize. We got a 4-wheeler. What else do we have?
Yeah. Okay. Well, before we even talk prizes, let's just talk about this contest. So this contest isn't going to be whoever can come in and shoot the most coyotes.
Okay.
We're leveling the playing field for people. There's a lot of controversy. A lot of people talk at those contests, and there's guys that shoot a lot of dogs and those guys are good coyote hunters. And no doubt in my mind, but a lot of people don't like those contests and they get burnt out from doing contests that way. This one, it's a lot more low key. Everybody has a shot at winning this contest because all it's going to take is 3 dogs. And if your 3 dogs weigh the most, you will win the contest.
Very nice. You can shoot as many as you want, but you're going to be checking in.
Check in 3 dogs, and all we ask is that if you shoot more than 3 dogs, you donate the other ones to Garrett for us to sell in his name. So that being said, small dog, this is where the gambling factor makes it fun come in. Small dog will have to be part of your 3-dog submission.
I love it.
Yep. So if you shoot 5 dogs and you got a really little one, but 3 big ones, you could take the risk of not taking first place, but winning small dog. So small dog prizes, we'll start there. Small dog prizes will be a pair of 22 revolvers. And for the big dog, we had some issues of what we tried to get through our FFL and stuff, but we were able to end up getting a pair of rifles, brand new Ruger 1022s for the big dog prizes.
Very cool.
Yep. So little dog will get a pair of 22 revolvers, which make great trapping revolvers. And say you don't want to put another big round into a dog after you're out coyote hunting, you can just put a little 22 round into them.
Exactly.
And then we got 2 22-250 rifles to give away as a prize. We got 3 Vortex Viper HD 10x50 binos that the boys at Vortex themselves donated.
Very good.
Yep. And we got 3 Vortex Razor HD 4000 rangefinders that are top-notch rangefinders that were sponsored. We got 2 custom leather engraved rifle slings. We got 1 Christensen Arms and Leopold Scope 22-250 rifle package to be auctioned off after turn-in. And here's the big one. We have 2 suppressors for 7th place.
Really? For 7th place?
7th place.
I like it.
So you don't even have to win the contest to get a good prize. You can come in and you could be middle of the pack and take 7th place and win suppressors.
Well, that's awesome.
And you have no idea what's going to, I think this year with the weather being the way it's going to take 3 dogs to win 7th place.
I think you're right. I do. And
Yeah.
so I had a conversation with some people that don't, they didn't think that these type of tournaments, they said, well, anybody can get 3 dogs. I'm like, exactly. They said, well, we usually bring in 20, 21 coyotes every time we go in a tournament. I said, well, if you're that good, why don't you just shoot the big ones?
Yep.
So
or shoot them all and just submit your big ones.
Exactly. Yeah. So all the money gets back and you're putting it in Garrett's name here.
No, it's
how does it work?
50% payback.
Okay,
50% payback to the teams. Last year, everybody was generous enough to donate their winnings back to Garrett, which was awesome, but we're not expecting that. We'll just put that out there. But the small dog and big dog entry, so it's $100 per team, 50% payback, and then big dog and small dogs are $25. If you want to enter those contests, are $25 a piece. But all of that money gets the big dog and small dog money gets put to Garrett, and then all of the sale of the coyotes gets towards Garrett.
Awesome. And something new this year, you're including a chili cook-off along with this. And I also heard that besides donating a 4-wheeler, Jesse's actually going to make coyote chili this year.
Oh, yeah. I'd rather have Sarah make us chili. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, how does the chili cook-off work here? Can you be part of the tournament and do that, or is it something
Absolutely. Separate? So we actually have a couple from Hazen. I hope they're listening. That they have a debate in their household. He's going to be hunting the coyote contest, but he might pre-make his chili because him and his wife can't stand each other's chilies.
Oh.
So they're going to bring both of their chilies to see whose chili is actually better.
And who are going to be the judges on this?
Okay, so the hunters. So anybody's welcome to submit their chili, and they got to be there by 5:30 Central Time with their chili. And they must be pre-entered by the 7th, so we know how many chilies we're to expect and to set up enough tables for it. And okay, so the chili must physically be there by 5 p.m. Central Time the day of the hunt, so the night. The hunters and spectators, whoever's coming through that shop, all the chili is going to have is a number in front of it, and we're going to have 1 or 2 servers just serving up each chili, and then the hunters get to judge the chili. They just put the number of which one they think is the best in the bucket at the end of the line, and at the end of the night we have a custom handmade prize, kind of a trophy. In fact, it is. It's not like a typical trophy, but it is a trophy prize that we will be giving away to the winner of the chili cook-off.
Very cool. I like it. And I'm guessing this is the meal for the end of the evening too, is the chili cook-off.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like last year, we had a bunch of chili left over for days, and we had a really good turnout last year too. But it just seemed like everybody either had already ate before they got there. But we're trying to do a better job this year of telling people there will be food at the end of the contest.
Say, I got a message here. It says, what are you using for coyote calls to get these coyotes to come in right now?
Oh, right now? So, I don't know. It's kind of a mix of anything. So we went out the other night over a full moon, and we didn't call anything out under distress. It was pure coyote sounds. So just challenge howls, interrogation howls, coyote fights. That's what got the response that night. Yesterday, what worked is called the first one in on a distress, just a cottontail distress. We were in a cottontail heavy area. And then the second one, we called in actually to a Pee Wee Loco on the old Lucky Duck Revolt. So that would be a coyote pup in distress after that. So got the first coyote, slapped it onto distress. So that other one came right in.
Nice.
So I think right now, middle of winter, what I always tell people is that if you can find deer, cows, and open water, you're going to find coyotes.
I agree with that. I also read an article in Predator magazine, and this guy went just like you said, is use the type of calls that will fit your area.
Yep, absolutely.
And one thing that's been working for me this year is I've been using a lot of bird sounds. We have a lot of magpies in my area, and and the magpie fight or magpie squall or whatever it's called on my Foxborough, that has really done well for me.
Yeah.
So use
and
in the area.
Don't be scared to get out there and use both hand calls and your electronic call at the same time either. These coyotes right now, they're really responsive to, like I said earlier, any type of sound. But yeah, matching what your surroundings is. So I don't know, about a month or two ago, I was in an area that I didn't see anything but pheasants. I slapped on the pheasant distress, boom, coyote, 5 minutes.
That's awesome.
It's fun. Right now is the time to really experiment with stuff because they're really getting vocal with each other, and they're grouped up and they're not grouped up. These little ones are kicked out. It's a fun time to hunt coyotes right now, actually.
Anytime's a fun time, man. Come
Absolutely, but it's really, really fun, in October, and then after, I don't know, first part of January are my two favorite times to hunt coyotes.
Yeah. I like hunting them here. That's one thing I like is it's a year-round season for us, so we can hunt them at any time.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
Let's do something fun real quick.
What's that?
So if there's two guys that are listening here in the last 10 minutes of this show, two guys that text you or respond to you on Facebook, the first two guys that say that show up for this coyote contest next weekend, they will get a custom cryptic camo Shriefer Red Angus hat that I will give them to you. You just got to give me their names and I'll have them waiting for them.
Okay, so the first two people to show up there, you have to text me at 701-425-6651. That's 425-6651. The first two people are going to win but they have to show up to the Farabee shop.
Yep, they got to be coming for the
YouTube channel. And I have to explain this for people that maybe tuned in a little bit later watching the show is, yes, I'm in a closet. It's the quietest place. I'm doing my show remotely today. And this guy says, you must have really gotten loaded up last night if you're still in the closet. Happy New Year's. But I have to tell him the closet is better than the doghouse. So, it works both ways on that. But yeah, so two people that text me at 701-425-6651 and you'll be heading up to that tournament. You will receive a special little Shriefer Red Angus. Hey, speaking of which, it's getting closer. February's around the corner, man. Your bull sales coming up. How excited are you?
Yes, it is.
And you're doing a little different this year. Explain what's happening for all those red cow lovers out there.
So
Red Lives Matter.
If I heard right, I thought you were. I heard lately that you were pretty interested in a set of red bred heifers. So
I was.
That kind of. But anyway, Thursday, February 18th, we joined up with Wassums and Pavlenko's from the Dunn Center area. We're gonna 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time at Wicks Barn, south of Richardson, North Dakota. We'll sell 90 bulls, 45 yearling Red Angus bulls of Wassums, 32-year-old Red Angus bulls of ours, 15 yearling Simmental bulls from Pavlenko's, and Wassums will be bringing 8 registered bred heifers. And between us and Wassums, we will have between 100 and 110 open commercial Red Angus heifers for sale.
Excellent. And if people don't know where the Wicks Barn is, it says just head straight south of Richardson until you see all the vehicles.
Yep, pretty much. It's right there on the east side of the road on Highway 8.
Yeah.
What is it? 2.5, 3 miles south of Richardson.
It's like 3 miles, but it's what a nice facility they have there.
It is. Yep. Yep.
Well, that's awesome. Again, Garrett.
That, or you can just call Scott and he'll lead you right there because he will.
I'll be there.
You bet.
I'll be that way. Heck, you can even jump in and ride with me if that's the way it goes.
There you go.
You bet.
Perfect.
We got one person text me. I'm not checking them because I'm using my phone to actually interview you here right now, so I'm not going to touch that. But yeah, there might be more, but I know I heard it go off at least once. So 701-425-6651. If the first two people, I think I have one already here, but if you want to get yourself a custom Shriefer Red Angus hat and you're going to be at the tournament anyway, text your name and number to me and we'll make sure to pass that on. So the rules meeting is going to be the night before here. It's going to be at 6:30 Central Time at Farabee Shop. Explain to folks where that is.
So you go 2 miles north on Highway 8, 2 miles north of Halliday.
Okay.
Let's clarify. 2 miles north of Halliday on Highway 8, and then 0.4 miles west on 2nd Street Southwest. Big old shop, west side of the road on Highway 8, right north of Halliday. You can't miss it.
And
so
perfect calling conditions next week.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
it's supposed to be super warm all week, and then it's supposed to be the coldest day of a high of 34 up here. The coldest. I mean, what a January! I can't beat it. And even I took Dad out yesterday. It's like, man, I really don't like calling when it's this warm, but I've never really had. I always have more success when it's cold, and
Yeah, I do too.
boy, did we
Yeah.
prove that theory wrong yesterday.
Well, maybe
just
maybe
one
the
stand and 2 coyotes, and we were like, hey, well, whatever, let's go home.
finish 2021 and I'm 100% on every Coyotes that we called in right now.
Yeah, yeah.
The one thing, maybe the Coyotes know something that we don't, Riley, is maybe they're active right now because they know it's going to get cold as all get out here coming up here pretty quickly, and they want to kind of butter themselves up a little bit.
Well, I just think like any animal, you look at the deer too, like we noticed on their drive back home last night that, man, those deer are fat, and
Yeah.
the coyotes, they're all in good shape too. And I think everything is just taking advantage of the real nice weather in case it does get real cold,
You bet.
I don't think they necessarily indicate whether or not we're going to have real bad weather, by the way they're conditioned, but it definitely could be an old wives' tale of some sort, for certain. But I just think coyotes are so opportunistic that they'll be out there, taking what they can get whenever they can get it, and the getting is good right now. So
well, during the deer rifle season, we're skinning a couple deer, and you see all the fat on them, and everybody's like, "Oh no, that means we're gonna get a heck of a winter." And for the next 45 days, it was like 40, 50 degrees. So that wasn't that didn't come true anyway. But I think we're in for January, February here. So, but yeah, again, it's January 9th here. A lot of other tournaments, but none with the amount of prizes that you're dallying up here. And not only that, it's for a good cause, and that's what people have to remember when they do these. Is you're doing it for Garrett here, and you're trying to help him out. And that cancer is such a son of a gun here. I think everybody knows somebody who's been going through it or lost somebody with it, and it's just tough to see that. So it's nice to help out.
Yep, and just and not very many of these North Dakota contests are into that 3-dog stuff yet. So just
exactly,
the playing field is level for amateurs to professionals.
Absolutely. So, and amateur, we know one guy that is an amateur snowboarder, and that is the reason he couldn't co-host today. Riley, good talking with you, my friend. Have yourself a good weekend.
Take care, Scott.
You bet. Yep. See you later here. Again, January 9th. That's the tournament here coming up next weekend. And there's a whole bunch more. Listen to my daily program coming up on Monday on this station that you're listening to right now. And I'll make sure to go through which tournaments are coming up your way. I'm Scott Bachmeyer. Have yourself a great day. DakotaPrairieOutdoors.com. Thank you, radio stations. Eat some meat, drink some milk today. All right, YouTube, thank you for tuning in today. Have yourself a great weekend. Happy New Year to you. And Riley.